Hello and welcome to the Connected Community Podcast. I'm so excited to introduce my guest today, Erica Ballard. Erica has an MS from Tufts University School of Medicine. She is a woman's wellness coach. She is a dear friend of mine, one of my favorite people, and I'm so excited to have her on the podcast. Today, we talk about intuitive eating, and I'm really excited about this topic because I feel like this is a topic that every woman and many men will be able to relate to. There are so many good, juicy nuggets in this conversation, and I love Erica. Erica is full of science and full of a little bit of woo, and it's just the perfect combination. I want to thank you so much for being here. If you're enjoying the podcast, please take a moment to give us a like, a share, and a subscribe. And I'm going to hop on in with Erica. I hope you'll enjoy. Hello, and welcome to the Connected Community Podcast, a place to explore possibility through mindfulness, movement, and self-discovery. Our intention is to deliver insight and inspiration while fostering conversations that are genuine, unfiltered, and deeply human. We hope you will enjoy today's episode. Hey, Erica, good morning and welcome to the Connected Community Podcast.
Hi, I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to get really serious with you, Nikki.
I know.
Really serious.
We just have so much fun that we were cracking up before we got on, and so I don't know. You just make me like smile in general. It's your personality. It's so amazing. I love it.
Oh, I love you.
All right. So Erica, we're going to talk today about intuitive eating, and you're a women's wellness coach. And I would love for you to just share a little bit about your background and how you even got into this in the first place.
Yeah, so happy to do that. So I spent most of my life, like the quick and dirty of it is I spent most of my life hating the way I lived and felt, and it didn't make sense to me. I love science. I got my master's from Tufts University School of Medicine. I worked in public health. I'm a big old rule follower. So I counted the calories. I worked out all the time. Like I chose low fat when that was like the really big thing, if you remember SnackWells and all that. And I did it. And I did it angrily, but I did it. And I always carried 15 more pounds than I wanted to. I was always a little bit more, not a little bit, I was always bloated. My skin was breaking out and I was in my 20s. Like that's not supposed to happen. And so I am stubborn. I don't know where my Taurus is in my placement, but it's there. And I just like could not quit. And I'm really glad I didn't, because what I figured out is that my body was communicating to me. I just did not know how to listen or talk back. And when I figured out that my bloat was because I was eating gluten and dairy and my body hated it, when I figured out that my skin was breaking out for those reasons as well, plus like I was having trouble detoxing because of inflammation in my gut, when I figured out that I was starving because I was actually hungry and I wasn't fueling my body for the type of workouts I was doing, right? When I got that, everything changed. But what was interesting to me is that I didn't learn it right through the traditional mediums of going to medical school for my master's, like taking public health advice. It was looking at quote unquote alternative advice and going to a school called the Integrative Institute for Integrative Nutrition. It was there in a health coaching school that I figured all of this stuff out, and that I actually went to on a whim because it sounded interesting. And so I know that I got lucky in figuring this out. And so, well, luck paired with my stubbornness. And so now I'm on this big mission, right? To spread the news that like your body's not broken. It's speaking to you. And there's a way forward. There's a way to feel good without it being so exhausting. Like way to feel good without having to feel bad all the way to getting there. You know what I mean?
So are you saying that what people should eat is different from person to person based on like how they feel and or are you saying that there's certain things that are kind of not great for everybody?
So I think universally there are things that are really good for everybody. But what you need is really dependent on where you are on your health journey. And then also as a woman, where you are in your cycle, right? Not only just like your menstrual cycle, but are you perimenopausal? Are you menopausal? Are you postpartum? Are you pregnant? And so I would say like foundationally, protein's good, right? Vegetables are great. We love a healthy fat, but how that looks for you and the season of life you're in and what's you're actually capable of doing, that will always shift.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's interesting the timing of this conversation because we're in women's group together and you weren't there the last time, but this topic came up about how there are a lot of women in the group, myself included, where we're just kind of not happy with where our body is. And there's a lot of body image things that the theme of that is coming up. There's a theme of that in women as general. We have this idealistic viewpoint of how we're supposed to look.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of pressure that comes externally from society and then also internally from ourselves.
Yeah.
And so, how do we kind of work with that in conjunction with how we're supposed to eat and what we're supposed to do? Because it was such a big theme. One person brought it up, and then like all of us chimed in, and all of us are having our own version of trying to accept our bodies as they are.
Yeah, it's a big question, right? The tools can be answered here, but like the acceptance journey takes a while. What I would say is it's twofold. One is getting them, I'm going to use the word like mechanics, right from a food standpoint for yourself. So really understanding the science and the biology of how food operates in your body. We think about it as calories when food is information. Food has never not once up until, the last 100 or so years or 200 or so years have we started to look at food, I would say 100 or so years, food as calories. Before then it was information, before then it was celebration, before that it was connection, right? So I think really understanding what food is biologically and then like on a larger sense societally. So that's one piece. The other piece is being with yourself. So a lot of people have body issues, and Lord knows I know all about it. And then we're trying to positive think our way out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I shouldn't have that thought. Oh, I don't want my daughter to hear me say that. Oh, I shouldn't be thinking that. Oh, shut that off and just be with it. Because when you start to let essentially your subconscious or unconscious become conscious, you can start to let it unravel. And this is the piece that I know is missed in modern wellness is like we're so focused on the how of what to eat that we forget that there is a whole mechanism inside of us, our whole mindset, a whole set of neural pathways, right, that are preventing us from doing what we want to do, which is nourish our body. And so looking at why do I feel this way? What are the thoughts that I'm thinking? What do I need to unravel? What does self-love actually look like? What does
Mm-hmm.
self-acceptance actually look like? What does it look like to love my body, right? We've got to answer those hard questions, not all at once in a journal session, right? But like continuously, because I can tell you right now that if I can love my body, me, Erica Ballard, so can you, because I was nuts. I was crazy. I had wild body dysmorphia. And I picked this thing apart every free second of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm curious about your body dysmorphia. Can you talk about what that was like?
Yeah, I think I can. In that, like, I was so in it that, like,
Mm-hmm.
so not clinically diagnosed, but like, there, you read as many books as I do on food and body, and you're like, that was me.
Yeah.
I would look at myself. I was a size 8, so I'm a size 4 now. I was between a size 6 and a size 8, usually around an 8, and I would just look at myself and be like, "You're disgusting." Like, huh? Like, I mean, really, I'm a 5'5", size 8. At that stage, like, I wasn't disgusting. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any of that, but I would constantly the thing I used to do all the time is I would rub my hand on my stomach to see how flat it was, and depending on how flat it felt, dictated essentially how happy I could be during the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could never see myself as, like, beautiful. I could never take a compliment. I was constantly fixated on how to shrink.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, it was I'm sure it was every moment of the day, But like I could, when I wasn't working, because in your 20s, you work, right? You know, I didn't have a family. I didn't have any of that. Any free moment was like obsessing about what to eat, when to eat it, like how many calories were in it, when I was going to get to the gym. Like every free moment was fixated on this body and pulling it apart in a really weird way to motivate myself. So it was like I just
Yeah.
couldn't see what I was like. Running around at 150 pounds on a 5'5" frame is not crazy. It's not insane. I didn't look that like I didn't look bad. I just, but I couldn't even see it. I couldn't even see it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was all internal. Nothing was coming from the outside. It was all what you were doing for yourself.
Yeah, yeah, but that's a hard thing, right? Because we want to say it's all internal, but where did I get it?
Right.
Like my
Yeah.
mom wasn't like, "You're disgusting." Like my mom is tiny. She was like 100 pounds soaking wet, but she was never like, "You're a fat slob. You're just like," I didn't have that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was internal, but like, where did I get that internal dialogue?
Yeah.
I got it from society, right? I got it from like standards of beauty. So yes, it was an internal pressure, but like created by, you know, the machine,
Yeah.
the beauty machine.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Somebody's wanting to start making changes to how they're eating and being kinder to themselves and kind of following their intuition around this. Like, where do we start?
Yeah. So this is here's what's interesting about this conversation. I think I'm going to just lay it out to start. Is I love intuitive eating. I think what's really challenging though is when you have hormonal issues, you have gut issues, you have mindset issues. It's hard to know what's true and what's not, right? Because your
Yeah.
gut, like let's say you have a gut issue, your body's going to call for more sugar. Intuitive, like it's going to call
Yes.
for it because that's what's happening. So it's like this, like we want to be like, let's just intuitive eat, and it's like what? There's like a couple things that are in order, and so what I say, my strong recommendation is to turn back on hunger cues. That's actually where I would start versus like, should I eat this? Should I eat that? Is like, let's start with like allowing ourselves to listen to when we're hungry
Yeah.
and to recognize that we probably have turned off our hunger cues and eating breakfast might be the best thing. So I say, start your morning like 2 to 3 times a week, not 5, not 7, 2 to 3 times a
Yeah.
week. Eat breakfast. Ideally
Yeah.
a healthy one, which we can get into, but like ideally just eat breakfast
Yeah.
and start to turn back on your hunger, because once your hunger gets turned back on,
Yeah.
then you're able to actually listen, because up until that point, and I say this because most women just underfeed, like everything's been shut off because you're in survival mode. And so you got to open the door out of survival mode. That's probably the best way to put it.
Okay. Yeah. What if somebody always feels hungry?
So if someone always feels hungry, it's the most likely thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor, right? There are you
Mhm.
you could have a
Yeah.
tapeworm, babe. You could have a tapeworm, right? Like there's some of those things. But if you're always hungry, there's a good chance you have heck. When we talk about what is it, like Superman syndrome in women, right? Like adrenal fatigue, there's like certain
Yeah.
spaces of the adrenal fatigue. The first one, like you where most of us live and stay, is like we can move forward. We have all the energy, even though we have nothing in our bodies, and we're just go, go, go. When you move down the adrenal fatigue movement or
Yeah.
like scale, you get hungry all the time because your body's not, because you're underfueled and your body's done with you. Your body's done with your shit. And so if you're hungry all the time, your hormones are probably off, like right, and you're hungry. And you're
Yeah.
fucking hungry. And so you gotta eat. But what I would say with eating, we're not eating 5, 6, 7 times a day like a lot of us were taught. We're working to eat 3 meals that have 5, 6, 700 calories in them so that we can turn back on our satiety cues.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm also hearing too, like maybe it's good to let our stomach rumble, like instead of keeping ourselves from feeling that feeling all the time, right? It's to get hungry and then to eat when we're hungry. Because sometimes we don't even allow our stomach to rumble.
Yeah. The reason I'm pausing is because it's so infuriating, right? All of this information. Be hungry. Don't be hungry. Never
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
it's like
Mhm.
just stop and think about a child. How would you treat a kid? You wouldn't give them snacks all the time. You wouldn't allow them to eat. You just don't. As a parent, you're like, no, you cannot have that snack again. You just ate. But when you really think back, kids are, one, you wouldn't do that. And then two, kids are pretty intuitive. When a kid is hungry,
Yeah.
they eat. When a kid is not, they don't. When they don't eat snacks all the time, they're able to eat a full healthy meal, right? If we are able just to take a step back, we can start to see that some of this advice that we're getting is insane. We should be hungry. Our hunger cues should turn on. We need breaks between meals because breaks between meals allow our bodies functioning like insulin and ghrelin and leptin and the hunger hormones, the satiety hormones, the blood sugar stabilizing hormones to do their freaking job.
Yeah.
It allows for metabolic processes in our body to happen. So yeah, we should be hungry. But we shouldn't be starving and to the point where we're so hungry that our hunger turns off.
Yeah.
This is the moment we get hungry, so many of us are like, I'm too busy. And then it turns into not eating and then not being hungry until the evening where all you can think about doing is snacking because finally your body is able to release.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me think as a mom, and watching other moms too, there is this tendency for moms, which is really interesting, to just freak out if they don't have snacks for the kids, and they have snacks all the time. And I get that. We always want to have food on hand if they're hungry. But it's they get in the car, it's oh, you want a snack? And it's junk. We're giving them junk. We're giving them cookies. We're giving them, maybe there's a cheese stick here and there. But we're not allowing them to get hungry, and we're feeding them constantly. You want a snack, you want a snack, you want a snack. And then, or the kids will come over here to our house too. And they're run to the pantry and they're what do you have? Where's the junk food? They're ready to just chow down on junk food. So it's interesting what we're doing with our kids too.
Yeah. And listen, being a parent is challenging. And sometimes we want them to shut up.
Yeah.
And you know what shuts them up? A popsicle, a cookie, no shit. I did it yesterday. I was like, I want 20 minutes by myself. So I'm going to give you this popsicle.
Yeah.
It's a healthier version of a popsicle. But I'm going to give you the popsicle and I'm going to go for a walk, right?
Yeah.
She was with her dad, but you know what I mean? So I can understand that. But I will also say that what's hard, again, going back to the intuitive eating piece, right, is when you give your kids food when they're hungry and then not let them have it when they're not hungry, their cues are back on. But as soon as we start to feed them junk food, they get messed up because junk food is supposed to mess up your cycle. It's supposed to ask you to crave more. And so, Janine Roth, this is one of my favorite food sayings of all time, is your world is on your plate. And I think if we got that about ourselves and our kids, it would allow us to step back and say oh shit, I'm probably not showing up the way that I want to, or showing up potentially for my kids in this particular instance or this particular area.
Yeah.
The way I want to. It's so hard for me to demonize, and I don't think that's what you're asking me to do, but demonize parents because we're all just trying to survive, right? Kids follow what you model.
Yeah.
So if your plate doesn't look the way that you want it to, if your world doesn't look the way you want it to, I think it's an invitation to reconsider.
Yeah. I want to read something to you. Our mutual friend, Brianna, sent this to me. I want to go over it because I really like it. And I want to kind of break it down with you. So I'm going to kind of read them. There's 7 of them. And then I want to go through them one by one with you, see how you think and feel about it. She sent this to me. It's called If Love Could Speak by Janine Roth.
Yeah, Janine Roth. The world is on your plate. That's the same person.
It's just my listening skills here. Okay. So, all right. So let's do them one by one instead of going all at once. So there's 7. I wrote them down and I've been kind of following it lately and I really like it. So number one is eat when you're hungry.
Great.
I
Love
don't know.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Number two is, I really like this, is eat sitting down in a calm environment. And I really have liked this because I tend to, I'll be making dinner and I'm like putting this and that in my mouth, or I'll run to the kitchen and I'm gonna get something in the cabinet and I'm eating it at the cabinet. And so I've been making this conscious effort lately to actually like create a meal and like sit down with it all at one time instead of picking here and there, eating an apple while I'm walking down the steps to go do a podcast. It's, and then also this part about being in a calm environment. So it's, not with loud music playing or not with a TV or not in your car. So I'm curious your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I think I love it in theory. In practice, I think it's a bit challenging for Americans, right? In France, I think we always talk about French go out to lunch and they have a glass of wine. Yeah, great. I'm so happy but France also ends their days at 4 and they have childcare and their healthcare system's amazing and their water supply is great, right? Like there's like more than just they drink or they have a nice meal in the middle of the day. Like there's a culture built around it. So in theory, I love it. And I think in practice, we can do a lot of it. It's like, I do think breakfast is available for a lot of us in that manner, especially if we have kids the moment they get out the door, right? We don't need to eat the minute we get up. We want a 12 to 14-hour break as women. We don't want 16 plus, and we can get into that. But that doesn't mean we have to have an hour meal, right? We can just sit down for 10 minutes and eat. And it makes the food on your plate more nutritious because your body's able to like actually pull out all the nutrients. Lunch, the idea is just to walk away from your freaking computer. Like, can you walk away from your computer for 10 minutes? The answer is yes. But you have to have the mindset and the belief that you can set the boundary to do it. And then dinner, I think the one thing, and then dinner we can do it with our kids, but I think what always gets me on that one is like, well, what happens if I go out with friends? I'm not in a calm environment. And it's like community and food matter too, right?
Yeah.
So there are moments where it's really possible. I think the ask there is just to be mindful of what you're eating, not to just shove in the sandwich or a salad in between calls. It's like, hold on. If I have a call when I'm starving at noon every day, maybe I should stop having a call at noon every day. Like, so yes, it's extremely helpful. Biologically, it's great. I think you've got to build the habit and the safety in your body to do it. And again, it goes back, I think you can do it with breakfast. It's the easiest place and then build from there.
Yeah. I like this one a lot because I'm not a person that watches TV while I'm eating, but I could see sometimes I do. I make a big thing of popcorn. And I just sit there and eat it mindlessly while I'm watching a movie, which is fine with me. But I think you can get in this habit of like watching TV and then mindlessly eating. And for me, when I set this intention, I noticed that being that I work from home and I'm self-employed, that I would be checking emails, or maybe that would be my break and I would go on Instagram and Facebook, or maybe I would do like the social media thing while I was eating because I'm eating alone. And so that is like this really overstimulating environment where it's like, okay, shelf the phone for a minute, which is hard. Shelf the phone for a minute and like eat and be intentional about eating. And I think that's the piece that landed for me really, was without this distraction piece.
Yeah, we are constantly trying to, I don't want to say even optimize. We want to be as productive as possible because we want to get to the end of the day and be present with our kids, right? Like, or present with, like, that's often why we're always like going, I got it. And it's like, but you're not even present with your kid. Like, you're not even present with your partner. You're not even present at the end of the day because you spent all day not being present, right? Like, you got to build the pockets. And so, putting your phone down for 10, like, if you can't put your phone down for 10 minutes, put it down for 5.
Yeah.
And you got to start somewhere. But I'm with you. Like, from a biological standpoint, your saliva, the saliva you produce, right, pre-eating helps you better digest your food and pull apart nutrients. So the idea is you eat first. Like, your body prepares for food by the smell and the sight before anything else. So if your body's not prepared to take that in, which is why so many of us are bloated or have indigestion. So pausing, if nothing else, because your body can absorb the food better, even if it's cake, feels like a really important step.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on. All right. Number 3. Let's see. Actually, it kind of goes with number 2. Eat without distractions, phone, book, computers, music, intense conversation. So we kind of covered that. Do you have anything to add?
I would just say her emphasis on intense conversation. Dinner with friends is one of the best. Dinner with family is one of the best things you can do for yourself. And so, I think when she says intense, it's like, like an argument, or like I should not be eating during a podcast interview, right? Because my brain has to be really working. So it's the one caveat I would just add. But yeah, Janine Roth, she's so great.
Yeah. Okay. Eat what your body wants.
So this is where I told you it gets a little complicated. Janine Roth is really big on mindset around food and intuitive eating, right? And so by eating what we want, the idea is to not demonize what we put in our system.
Yeah.
And I love that. And from a biological standpoint, right? If you have a gut dysbiosis, so you have more bad gut bugs than good ones.
More bad butt bugs.
Yeah. More bad stomach bugs. What did I say?
Gut bugs.
Okay. Yeah, gut bugs. Okay. Yeah, stomach bugs. It's going to call for sugar. So you're going to, and then when you're stressed out, you're going to constantly want sugar because your body is wanting energy to run or fight a bear, right? Like, that's where it gets a little challenging. Or when you're stressed out, when your hormones are off, right? Like these are things that are challenging. So I'm with it.
Yes.
But the way that works
is
you've got to be present, right? It goes back to the no distractions. So I would say what's really fascinating about that, and I still do agree with it because when you're hungry, because what she's saying is when you want to eat it. And what you're going to learn, what I have found is that eating cake doesn't really make you gain 5 pounds. Like one piece of cake, it's not going to really do anything for you.
Yeah.
This whole weekend, all I've wanted is sugar. And I know I've been stressed, but I didn't care. Like I wasn't sitting there being like, oh my God, I should not have this. I was like, I want all of those graham cracker bunnies. I want all of them. Because they're my kids, right? But they're good.
Yeah.
I just ate them. Like when I want ice cream, I eat ice cream.
Yeah.
And the practice is really starting to wrap your mind around the fact that like food is not bad or good. Food is food.
Yeah.
And when you pull off the bad or good labels, it's just food. And so I love it, but I think there's that caveat of the biology that needs to go with it. If you're constantly wanting sugar, that is a call to say, hold on, Janine. There might be something a little bit more going on in my system.
I feel like if I just ate what I wanted, I would be drinking kombucha all day and eating jalapeno kettle chips.
No, I firmly disagree with that because I eat what I want all day.
Yeah.
Like, and the things that I want are avocado with salmon. The things that I want are like a banana chocolate smoothie, right? Like, yes. And some of the things that I want are like jalapeno kettle chips.
Yeah.
But like, I don't actually want them all day. Like when you start to nourish your body, here's a fun fact before I get into like, it takes 3 weeks to change your palate. So that's why sugar detoxes are 21 days, right? Like it takes 3 weeks. So the moment that palate shifts, you start to want different things. Like you might want right now cake, but it's like with cigarettes, right? Like when people used to get in trouble smoking, I don't know, it was in my neighborhood, their parents would buy them a carton of cigarettes and be like, you want to smoke?
Smoke them all.
Smoke them all.
Yeah.
And those kids never smoked again.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was like after, I don't even know how many cartons, like how many cigarettes that is. It's a lot of cigarettes.
Yeah.
You can only eat so much cake before you're like, I don't need cake. Like, so your palate will change as you change your diet. And and what you want changes because when you start to nourish your body, you want to start to take care of it. And you start to want to eat foods that help you take care of it. So that's everyone's first thing. It's like, what do I do? I'm going to, no, you won't. You just won't. But you have to trust the process. Because the only reason we think that is because we have been told that anytime we give ourselves free will, we're going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
And what what she's saying and what I'm saying is when given free will, you'll take care of yourself.
Yeah. I've been doing this last 21 days. I've been doing a Bobansana dieta, which is just dieting this beautiful flower. It's like dieting lavender or lemon balm. It's like, it's just it's a mild feminine plant. Anyway, I made all these agreements with this plant that I was going to diet about how I was going to change my diet. And so I was limiting sugar. I basically cut out processed foods. Yeah, basically that was like the biggest thing, just cut out all processed foods. And so with the cutting out of processed foods, is cutting out almost all sugar, but then I gave myself free reign to have all the fruits that I wanted or like a date. And it was really easy. It wasn't easy to cut out processed foods, but then I'm realizing how important it is and how many I had in my sphere. And cutting it out, it didn't take that long. And then I found that I was super satisfied with fruit, with a date here and there. Or I'd even like allowed myself to make a sweetbread, but I made it. So I think it's hard to cut out sugar, but if we do that and we kind of add in all of these fruits, it's not that hard.
Yeah, and I would say always add in before you take out. So like mentally, and from like a nervous system and subconscious, all that, say I'm going to add in fruit instead I'm
Yeah.
going to take away sugar.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is, date tastes so sweet. Like people are like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I want a candy bar. I cannot physically eat one.
Yeah.
Like, not because I'm above it. It's like my body cannot handle that much sugar and it's
Yeah.
too clawingly sweet. So that's not a willpower issue, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
ugh. Like, do I love a mini Snickers? You better believe it. But do I love like an actual Snickers bar? The sugar comes, like I can feel the sugar coming up my spine, my body tingling. It doesn't feel good. So it's not a hard no. It's I'd rather not.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I did kind of have that mindset where I wasn't like cutting out, I was adding in. So I'm like, I'm going to make all my own food. Right. So if it's not
Agreed.
processed, I'm going to have to cook a lot more and I cook, but like I'm going to have to
Yeah.
make all my food. So a little bit more effort went into it. But I do like that mindset shift of what am I going to add versus take away? Because then there's like what is that word? That mindset where you're like grabbing for something like a scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, not even I think, I know that it works better. It
Yeah.
just works better.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Number 5, eat until you're satisfied.
Yeah. Listen, we have turned off our ability to understand what satisfied me. I used to eat to the point of like pain.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
You're gonna like you can't walk.
yeah, because I was so deprived during the day that I just was like, get it all in. Like, and I would just keep going and going. And I never knew when to turn off. And I would eat so fast sometimes too that I didn't even know I was going to be in pain. But like, what is it? The Japanese rule of, I can't remember what it's called, but essentially you ate to 80% full.
Yeah.
Like, that's the move. But really what Janine is saying here is like, pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Because once you start to learn how satisfied you are, now you have an idea of how much your body wants to be eating, which is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I love
it. Makes me think sometimes where I'm like, I know I'm going to go an extended period of time without eating. Then sometimes I eat when I'm not hungry. So an example of that would be if I'm flying and I've got like a layover and then I've got another long flight for like 6-7 hours, I might go and eat an extra large meal, even when I'm not hungry. So yeah, like, can you speak to that?
Yeah, those are one-offs. Like, here's what's really hard. Like, right, the person listening to this is like, I must be perfect. I've got to follow all 7 rules to do this. And it's like, nah, bitch. Nobody said that. Like, it's that sometimes these rules are meant to be broken. Right? Sometimes these rules cannot be followed. And sometimes I'm using my brain. I'm using this big brain of mine to get me to where I need to be. So it's like, these are rules. They are not, they're not even, they're guides. They're not rules.
Yeah.
They're like, no one's going to flog you if you don't follow them. Like, none of that's going to happen. But sometimes you got to eat a little bit more because you got to go longer. Right. sometimes you have to skip a meal because there truly is no time. Like, I have a 20-month-old. Sometimes I just had to power through. Like, did I want to? No, but I had to. And so there are, because I didn't pack snacks, right? Like, and I had to give them to them. So I was hungry. And it's like, yeah, sometimes, like, I always say 80% of the time you want to do the best you can. 20% of the time, you don't.
Yeah.
20% of the time you're not. And so that's what I would say.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Oh, this is a big one for me. I like number 6 a lot. And I didn't understand it, so I had to kind of read a little bit more about it first. Eat with intention of being in full view of others. And so I was like, what does that mean? And then I realized it's like, it's not as if somebody's criticizing you, watching you, like looking at what you're going to do wrong. But it was my example of like, I totally do this. Here's my little dirty secrets. I'll like go to the pantry and I'll take out a couple of chips. And so I'm like, oh, and I'll get like 5 or 6. And then I'll put it back. And then I go in like 10 minutes later and I go and I get more. And then it doesn't even matter if somebody's like, my husband's down there and he sees me, he catches me, like that's okay. But then I'll go back. And then like 20 minutes later, I'll come and I'll just get like a little bit more. Right. Or it's like, I'll sneak to the pantry and I'll go grab something. And so it's with that where it's like, not somebody's looking at you, trying to catch you in your bad and wrong, but would you eat this way freely in front of other people? Would I go to the pantry 6 times to get chips? Probably not. If you were in my house hanging out with me, I'd probably not do that.
Yeah. I that's it, right? It's like, would you eat this way in front of someone else? And like my thing right now, again, I have a 4-year-old and I have a 1-year-old, right? And I eat really fast. Like, and I don't want to, but I don't know what it is. They don't eat, my husband's name is Nick. They don't eat Nick's food, but they sure love mom's. Like,
if you don't eat
I
it,
find
it's
myself
gone.
like chugging water and like scooping up the food that I want to eat because I don't want to share it, right? Like, and I'm reminded of this. Like, I'll look at my plate and I'm like, how am I done? Like, there are 2 kids sitting on top of me. Nick is sitting by himself, right? I should be the one that's like, has food on my plate still.
Yeah.
And yet I have shoveled it all in because I want it. And so it's, it's a practice, right? It's these guides are reminders, but it's when you really think about it, you're like, oh, would I shovel food into my mouth? Would I, like, on a call, right?
Yeah.
I know not everyone can see this, but like, I'll turn to the side and bite it, like, and I'll bite it on the side. I'm like, who would do that? Just turn off the video. Like you can't, you're like, would I try to hide eating? And like,
I've totally done that.
And it's like I have a call after this and I'm going to bring my food there. I know I can in this group of women. And so I'm just going to be like, hi, I'm starving.
Yes.
I'm going to eat in front of you. And if it offends you, I can turn off my camera. Like,
yes.
But it's really, when you really stop and watch your behaviors, it's like, like it's so fascinating. Like when people quote unquote sneak, like you said, sneak in chocolate, like they're in the corner, like shoving cookies in their mouth because, they're like, don't want anyone to see them. It's like, why do you feel you need to hide it?
Yeah.
Like there's no reason.
Yeah.
Cookies are good.
Yeah.
You can eat them. But 2, it goes back to like what I was saying in the very beginning of this. There's a whole mindset shift, like whole mindset that has to move. And in wellness, typically we talk only about the physical actions.
Yeah.
Eat your vegetables, like have water before coffee. And it's like, why don't you want to have water before coffee? That's what we need to get into. Why are you eating chips in secret? Like somehow Adam is going to judge you if you eat them, right? Like you're like, whatever. Why are we doing those things? When we look at that, when we look at our psychology behind our behaviors, it makes it so much easier to put things in place that build habits. But we have to know, and this is why this list is so important that you're sharing, we have to know it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to look at our behaviors. It's okay to choose to eat differently. Like it's okay that what I'm doing is not technically okay with me,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of wondering, if everyone sneaks food or is it just me?
I don't know. I think we're really bad. Like, we should not be the ones answering that because we have too many weird similarities. Like,
Yeah.
because when it was like, Nicky and I have this thing where, not this thing, we're working on it, where like we'll use the best thing that we love at the end. Like, we'll save it till the end.
Yes,
And
yes,
no one did that. And you said it to me, and I said, oh, yeah. Yeah, I
yes,
saved that candle for 7 years.
yes,
Like, before I
yes.
ever touch it. So I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, I remember as a kid, my mom doing this thing where she would like take me and we had a pantry that was like gigantic and had a door that would shut, and she would take me in there and she would bring 2 spoons and she would go in the pantry and we would shut the door and we would eat peanut butter.
That is so cute. But also, yeah, that's why you do
But we
it.
were like sneaking it. We like literally went into the cabinet and shut the door. I don't even know if my dad was even home.
Sometimes these cute little fun rituals, like
Yeah.
play a little head game. And that's why it's like, you can, when you just look at it,
Mm-hmm.
then you know why you do it. And like, you're like, oh my God, something me and my mom did that was like really fun. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have to do it as an adult. Like,
Yeah.
it's not fun, right? You just, none of the, like, like, all of these things are neutral, even when they're bad, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're technically neutral now that you're the you are now. And so
Yeah.
it's like making, like, just examining it to
Yeah.
move on.
Because I'm sure I don't do this, but I know other people have this habit where they maybe go through a drive-through and eat it in the car and then throw everything away before they get home because they don't want
Yeah,
people
for
to
sure.
see it, right? And so it's like that. It's like just imagine that somebody was watching you and then like look at that was a fascinating one for me. I have to say, out of all of them, I was like, oh, okay,
I think the one thing I just want to add to is like, you're not hiding it from anybody. Like, listen, here's my fun secret. I love Arby's curly fries. I mean, I love them. Like,
yeah,
oh, I love them and I crave them. During
yep,
pregnancy, like a large curly fry, right, from the drive-thru. And sometimes even now, like not every day, not even every month, but every couple months, I'm like, you know what'd be good? Arby's curly fries. And I
yes,
go. And here's the thing about Arby's curly fries. They smell. Like, even with the windows down, it still smells like Arby's. Like, you know what I mean? For like a
yeah,
few hours. And it's the same, like when you're walking to the cabinet, somebody's going to hear you. Like, somebody's going to hear you. And so you're
mm-hmm.
not even hiding your behaviors. So it's like,
Yes,
why do you think you have to? I think that's
yes,
like a thing that I just want to throw out is like, babe, you're not hiding it. So let's examine why you think you should.
yeah, yeah,
Because everybody knows. Your
yeah,
husband knows when you eat chocolate. Your
yeah,
kids know when you're eating their cookies. They have a sixth sense. It's very annoying, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
everybody knows.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I love it. It's a good guide. It's a good guide.
yeah. All right, number 7. I think everybody's gonna like this one. Eat with enjoyment, gusto, and pleasure. Or
Yeah.
gusto.
Well, I don't know which one, but we love
We
it.
know what it means.
Like,
I think of the Italian when they
yeah.
like love their food.
Yeah. Here's the thing. All of us, for the most part, love our food. Like,
Yes.
and the thing that I took away from what you said is like, we have removed pleasure from our life. Like,
Yeah.
I have a friend, she's a sex therapist, and she asked everyone to make a pleasure list. And everyone's like, all right, I like a dildo, I like, whatever, right? And it's like, no. What brings you actual pleasure in the day to day? And it's like, for me, I make the same coffee every morning and I love it. I make the same latte every afternoon and I love it. Like, these small little things. I like looking out my window. There's a horse that's out there right now. I like hearing it neigh, right? Like, what
You have a
things bring us.
horse outside your window?
Yeah, so it's so random. So in my I I think these people are just holding out. Like, because it is surrounded by so much else. But yes, there's a horse and a barn, a house.
Wow.
I know. You would never expect it here. But it's like, these are the small things that bring me pleasure. And
Yeah.
food is good. We love food. That's why
Yes.
we're eating it. Like, we love it. So like, love it. And like I said earlier, your body prepares to eat food with their eyes. It turns on the functionalities that metabolize
Yeah.
your food and break it down and like make all of the sugar and all of the calories useful. So like, Love it. And eat what you like.
Hmm.
Like, it goes back to, like, eat what you want, right? We think we want cake, but most of us, we want, like, a really good salad, or we
Yeah.
want, like, lox on a bagel. Like, eat food you enjoy. Like, it's the slugging of the shakes, and it's the, like, shitty smoothies and the, like, boring oatmeal that makes eating healthy feel
Yeah.
so hard, and it's like,
Yes, because we've all done that. We've like slugged through a
ugh.
meal and like eaten it because it's good for us, but it tastes like crap.
Oh my god, if I had to eat another baked chicken breast, like, in my 20s, I was
Yeah.
gonna die. Like, you can you the salad is the quintessential health food because of its proportions, not because it's the thing. It's like, you want most of your volume, like, by volume, you want most of your food to be vegetables, but by density, you want it to be fat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, when we know and we want good protein on it. When we know that, a salad is the easiest way because you have a fatty dressing, you have a bunch like, way more vegetables than anything else, and then some protein. And when you're like, "Okay, well, how do I translate this?" Then it can look like, I don't know, like in London, right, or in England, like a baked potato with a bunch of broccoli, right, and, like, high quality cheese, like, that's that's a meal, like, with some other ways are, like, beans with zucchini and, like, some rice, like, and if you want chicken, chicken covered in, like, salsa. There's just ways to do it so much better than what we do. So, yes, like your freaking food, dude. Like your freaking
Yeah.
food.
Yeah. Yeah. What are other advice do you have that hasn't been covered?
I think the thing that I would just say is, like, food really matters. The reason we're having a whole conversation about it is because food really matters. Like, people want to, like, reduce their stress. They wanna sleep better. They wanna drop weight, and we are so busy looking at food as either a nuisance or a set of calories that we have to pay attention to that we forget food is sustenance, food
Hmm.
is information, food is connection, like, both for yourself and others, and so when we can step back and say, like, "Oh, food is something, honestly, to be revered," um, we can show up to it differently because there's so many things about how to eat, and they all somewhat work based depending on where you are in your health journey and life journey. But the big takeaway for me always continues to be, like, eat real food the majority of the time
Yeah.
and love what you're eating.
Yeah.
And, like, like, uh, you'll get the results you want very quickly
Hmm.
when you do that, and it doesn't involve like, I make my own bread now, right? I love to cook, but it doesn't always have to look that way. There are conveniences available, but it's a stepping stone. Like, you start to eat healthier, you order that Panera salad versus, the bread bowls that can be so good at certain times, right? You eat the salad, all of a sudden you realize, "Oh, I can make this at my home, and it's gonna be easier. Okay, great." And then all of a sudden you are at a farmer's market. But you just so it's like,
Yeah.
1, food's important, and then 2, like, step into it. It'll
Yeah.
all naturally happen as long as you start to build the habits for it.
Hmm. And let's touch on intermittent fasting because it's like a
Mm.
big thing right now and it changes with menopause. And so let's just talk about like what is intermittent fasting and what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think, if you haven't already, you should probably have a podcast on it because it's just
Yeah.
there's so much on it.
Yeah.
But intermittent fasting is essentially, right, giving your body a break from food, a long break from food. The idea
Hmm.
behind it is that, when you give your body that break from food, and push it past the point of hunger, it uses fat for energy. And when it starts to use fat for energy, you become more adaptive. So you can switch between glucose and switch between fat burning more easily so that you can eat those 3 meals, right? You can sustain, you can do all these other things that you're looking for. And and the other piece is the other reason it's beneficial is the theory of hormesis, right? So a little bit of stress placed on the
Hmm.
body is a good thing and it builds the resilience. So this is and studies have shown over and over and over again that intermittent fasting can reverse diabetes. It can get your insulin levels back to where they should be. There's a lot of benefits to it.
Yeah, so you're not spiking your insulin over and over and over again. Even that's why you're saying like 3 meals is better than like there was a time where we were like have 8 small meals a day instead of 3. But when you're doing that, you're continually spiking your insulin levels, your blood sugar.
Yeah. And blood sugar and insulin are some of the biggest, like, blood sugar is one of the biggest contributors to weight gain. So when it's spiked, the way that it interacts with insulin, right, it moves your body into fat storage versus releasing fat or letting it go. And so
Yeah.
the prolonged periods of time allow not only from like fat and glucose adaptability, but move your body out of fat storage because your body can either digest food or like release weight at the same or release weight. It can't do both at the same time. So when you're constantly eating, all these mechanisms are making sure you hold
Yeah.
on to it. And when you're not eating, it's essentially cleaning itself up, right? Like to use
Mhm.
like a very lay term. So we love it. And Dr. Fung will be the first to tell you he did not invent it, but he made it popular, right?
Yeah.
And we saw a lot with obese patients and a lot with diabetics reverse um, a lot of their issues. And so it's really good when when you're extremely overweight, when you're diabetic. Where it gets tricky is where you're a woman,
Yeah.
right? And so a lot of these studies are done on men, so we follow these studies. With women, we have we have hormones that
Mhm.
men don't have, and like mm, I should say, we have a lot more of these hormones than men, right? So we have estrogen and progesterone that don't do well
Yeah.
when we intermittent fast
For too long.
for too long. And
Mhm.
really, when we think about intermittent fasting, we wanna actually move it into time restricted feeding is probably the
Yeah.
best way to do it, so to make that tiny shift in your brain. 12 to 14 hours, easy peasy, no problem
Yeah.
unless you're, like, training for a triathlon, then, like, that's a whole different discussion, right? Or doing really hard workouts. So 12 to 14 hours because breakfast is break fast. So
Yeah.
you want to have a fast, and you wanna have a couple hours before you go to bed, where there's no food, and then when you wake up, an hour or
Yeah.
2 before you eat. It's awesome.
Mhm.
It gives women enough time to clear everything out that needs to be clear out and taken care of. But when you don't eat in the morning for those prolonged periods of time, your hormones go insane because our hormones are attached. Like, right, we have hormones in our brain, in our thyroid, right, that our endocrine system that move into our adrenals and then touch our ovaries. And it men don't have it. They don't
Yeah.
have it. So when women do it, it really screws things up and it makes weight loss harder long term. So I love a time restricted eating, but intermittent
Yeah.
fasting is not good unless you're diabetic or, like I said, really overweight.
Mhm. So it sounds like one of the worst things you could do is drink a sugary drink all day long, right? Or
Mhm.
just pop a little candy here and there, right?
Yeah.
A little mint or something like that, because then you're continually spiking. And I think from what I've read too, there's a lot of the sugar-free things, or
Terrible.
even with like monk fruit, they're sweetened or and from what I've been reading, it's like your body doesn't really know the difference between the fake sugars and the real sugars. It is
Yeah.
different. It acts a little bit differently, but your body doesn't really know the difference.
Your body's so much smarter than you. Like, this is why people who drink Diet Coke, like, are still overweight, right? Like, your body's still pumping out insulin. It's still doing these different things. But with intermittent fasting, like, the big takeaway is that there's a lot of benefits from it. But as a woman who, especially like, I don't wanna say up to perimenopause, like, it's it's gonna screw you up. It's gonna screw you up in a big way because 'cause you're not a little man, right? You're just not. And I don't think we should try to be, and I think eating sugar all the time is a terrible idea, and that's why I was saying in, like, at some point in this podcast, like, if you're constantly craving it, then you should not be eating what you want. You should instead saying, like, you should instead be investigating why my body constantly wants sugar before you move into the intuitive eating piece.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Erica, how can people reach you? Tell us about all the offerings that you
Yeah.
have and how we can connect, and I'll drop that in the show notes too.
Yeah. So I've gotten off of all the socials but LinkedIn. So if you want to connect with me, get on LinkedIn. You can also go to my website, ericaballard.co, or send me an email on ericaballard.co. I'm pretty accessible. And then I have two things that I can share with you, Nikki. One is your health blueprint. So it's a guide that helps people understand what their body's trying to say to them. So I'm big on like communicating and talking with your body. I always say your body doesn't speak English, so you have to learn how to speak body. And it helps really decode if you're having brain fog, if you're having sugar cravings, if you're having if you're hungry all the time, like what does that mean and what can you do? And then in addition, once you figure that out, I have a group. It's called the Feel Good Collective, and it's for working women who want to get consistent with their health, like really consistent. Um, and and it is full of support and teachings and conversations about how to get healthy, even when you're busy, even when your schedule is chaotic, because wellness right now is built for men and people who have tons of time. And that is not most of us
Yeah.
with vaginas. So
working hard.
yeah, so that community exists too. And it's only $47 a month to join. So those are all the
Awesome.
ways you can get in touch.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'm love having you in my life. I'm very excited about our murder mystery party this weekend.
That's so good. I love you too.
Thank you for listening to the Connected Community Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, and subscribe. I can be found at www.nickyyoga.com, NICKYYYOGA.com. Until I see you again next week, I hope you have a beautiful day.